Hello, good morning, grade 8 students. How are you? I hope all you guys are doing okay. Stay happy and also healthy. Today, I'm going to explain about the crabs. Yes, we already done this, but I think some of you already forgotten about this chapter. That's why I'm going to explain it again. So, please kindly prepare your stationery, ruler, pencil, paper, eraser and everything. So later you can make a summary from this video. In the end of the video, I'll give you a simple game and also a quiz. The quiz will be using quizzes up like the before, but this time I'll make sure that maximum of you can do it twice. So please pay attention properly. If later you still have any doubts, please message me to private comments or class comment on the Google Classroom. Okay, hope you enjoy it, guys. What is gradient? You can look at this road sign first. And then this road sign tell us, especially the road user, the gradient for the road ahead. It's written as 25%. What does it mean by 25%? Are you guys still remember that 25% is equal to 1/4 or 1/4? So we can say that this gradient of this road is 1/4. This means you go up 1 unit vertically for every 4 units horizontally. To make it simpler, you can look at this diagram. I have a car. This car travels 1 unit up for every 4 units along. The gradient is the change in height divided by the horizontal distance traveled. Some people call this as rise divided by run. Here, the gradient is the change in height, which is 1, divided by the horizontal distance, which is 4. That's why the gradient will be 1/4 or 25% or 1/4. You often need to find the gradient of a straight line on the graph. Why? Because the gradient tells you the slope of the line. The larger the gradient, the steeper the slope is. And here I already have the coordinate Cartesius, I already have the vertical line and the horizontal line. This vertical line called as the y-axis and the horizontal line called as the x-axis. Instead of saying the gradient as the change in height divided by the horizontal distance traveled, we usually say the gradient as the change in the y divided by the change in x. Now let us find the gradient of this line. What do we have to do? First, we have to find the change in the y and also the change in the x. To make it easier, we can draw a simple triangle on this line. What is a simple triangle? I can show you here. I make a simple triangle. My triangle, this is the vertical line. This is start from 3 until 5, so the change in the y will be 2, and this is the horizontal line start from x equals to 1 until x equals to 2, so the change in x will be equals to 1, and then the gradient will be 2 divided by 1, which is 2. What will happen if I draw a different type of a triangle? Will it be given a same gradient? Let us check. Here maybe I make a triangle like this much. Wait, this is the line went down and then after that go to the left. Went down, went to the left. From 3 into -3, the difference is -6. From 1 until -2, the difference is 3. So the gradient will be the change in y, which is -6, divided by the change in the x, which is -3. The answer is how many? Yes, the answer is 2. So are they the same? The 2 and 2, they are the same. So no matter how big your triangle is, later the gradient will be the same as long as it is a same line, the same line. Now I have a different line, and this line slopes in the opposite direction like the previous line. Now what will happen to the gradient? Let us check together. Here I already prepare a simple triangle. Let us find the change in x, which is 1, and also the change in y, which is -2. It is negative because see the arrow is going down. This is positive because see the arrow is going to the right. So the gradient will be -2 divided by 1, which is -2. This negative symbol shows us the line is sloping down. Here I prepare a Mr. Slope. This Mr. Slope will help you to define the gradient also. When you have the line with this direction, the gradient will be positive. If you have a line with this direction, the gradient will be negative. When you have a vertical line, the gradient will be undefined. And when you have the horizontal line, the gradient will be equals to 0. What we have learned today so far, we already learned that the gradient tells the slope of the line. The gradient we can calculate as the change in y divided by the change in x. Now let us check our understanding. Here I already prepared 3 lines with each gradient and all the gradients are wrong. Can you guess where are they wrong? Now let us go to the line A first. Do you still remember what is a gradient? Gradient is change in y divided by the change in x. So the gradient have to be 2 divided by 4. When we simplify, the answer is a half. But this number is flipping upside down. Now what about the line B? What is the gradient of line B? Can you guess? How many is it? If you remember the Mr. Slope, you can directly spot if this is wrong. Because when the line is go to this direction, the answer have to be negative. Then why is it negative 2? If you don't remember the Mr. Slope, you have to put an arrow for each line that you draw. Like this one, I have to put the arrow, maybe go down, after go down, go to the right. If going down, the line have to be negative, not positive. That's why this is the change in y will be negative 4 and then the change in x will be 2. So the gradient will be negative 4 divided by 2, which is negative 2. That's why here the gradients will be negative 2. Now what about the gradient C? Is there anything wrong on it? I'll give you a hint. Look at the scale. The change in y is not 3. Why is it not 3? When you count the number of boxes, there are 3 boxes. But it says it's not 3. You can look at the scale. This is number 8 and this is number 2. The difference from 8 until 2, the difference is 3. So it has to be, the gradient has to be 6 divided by 2, which is how many? Yes, it is 3, not 1 per 2. Now let us continue to another examples. Here I already have 3 lines, the blue, red and also purple line. We are going to find the gradient of each line. Let us start from the purple one. What do we have to do? We have to draw a simple triangle first. This is a simple triangle and the gradient is the change in y, which is 1, divided by the change in x, which is 1. So the gradient will be 1 divided by 1 is 1. The gradient is 1. Now continue to the red line. Same, we have to draw a simple triangle. And then what is the change in y? The change in y is 2 divided by the change in x, which is 1. So 2 divided by 1 is 2. The gradient is 2. Now the last line. This is we have to draw a simple triangle again here. So the change in y, this is going down, so it is negative 2. And then the change in x is 1. Negative 2 divided by 1 will be negative 2. The gradient is negative 2. Now let's continue to the y-intercept. What is y-intercept? Y-intercept is the position where the y-axis meets the line. So this is the y-axis. Remember, the y-axis is the vertical line. Now we have to find the y-intercept of each line. Let us start from the purple line first. This is the line. This is the y-axis. Where do they meet? The meeting point of the y-axis and also the line will be called as the y-intercept. Yes, the y-intercept will be right here. So what is the coordinate of the y-intercept? The coordinate will be 0, negative 4. Now continue to the red line. From the red line, where is the y-intercept? Yes, the y-intercept will be there. What is the coordinates? 0, 3. And then the last one is the blue line. Where is the y-intercept? Yes, the y-intercept will be right there. What is the coordinates? The coordinates is 0, negative 3. Now, can you check this one? From the line equation, the gradient and also the y-intercept, can you recognize there is a something, or is there any rule or connection between them? Is there any? Now you can check, maybe start from the red line. The gradient is 2. And then the coefficient of x is 2. This is the same. And then what is the y-intercept? The y-intercept is 3 and this is also 3. Now what about the purple line? From the purple line, we can check that the gradient is 1. Remember, there is no number, it means there is a number 1 there. So this is the coefficient of x and also the gradient is the same. And then this number is negative 4. And then the y-intercept also negative 4. They are the same. What will happen to the blue line? The gradient is negative 2. And then the coefficient of x is also negative 2. And then the y-intercept is negative 3. And then this is also negative 3. So what you can say about the line equation? The line equation will be, we can make it a general equation. We can make it as y will be equals to mx plus c. What is the m? The m in here is for the gradient and then the c in here as for the y-intercept. I have two groups of line, the first group and then the second group. If you still remember about the phase of the Mr. Slope, you will recognize that the first group is for the positive gradient and then the second one is for the negative gradient. If I say this group is made by 4 parallel lines and this group also made by 4 parallel lines, what did you discover about the gradient of the parallel lines? No, it's not only about parallel will be same positive or same negative. No, it's not only like that, but you can see the direction also. In here, maybe you can check the gradient. This is the gradient will be negative 2 divided by negative 1. The gradient is 2. Now about this one, this is also going down 2, so negative 2 divided by negative 1. The gradient is 2 also. So the gradient are the same. Now what about this one? Let us check. Are their gradients same? This is going down by 2. So negative 2 divided by 2. Negative 2 divided by 2 is negative 1. Now what about this one? This is going down by 3. So negative 3 divided by 3 is negative 1 also. So the characteristic of parallel line is they have to be having same gradient. Well, I have two line equation in here. First, y equals to 3x minus 2 and then the second one, y equals to 3x plus 2. And then I also have a question in here. Are these lines parallel? How do we know if they are parallel or not? We have to check to their gradient. If the gradient are the same, they will be parallel. So what is the gradient of the purple line? The gradient will be 3. Remember the gradient will be the coefficient of x, and then for the left line the gradient also will be 3. So yes, they are parallel. If you're not sure still, you can draw the line also fine. Here I already have the line in here. Let us start from the red line. This is maybe start from here, I go down till here and here. So the gradient will be the change in y, which is negative 3, divided by the change in x, which is negative 1. So the gradient will be 3. Now for the purple line, I will make a triangle this big. So the gradient will be the change in y, which is negative 6, divided by the change in x, which is negative 2. So the gradient will be still the same 3. Yes, they both have gradient of 3, so they are parallel. Let's move to another equations. Here I already have y equals to negative 2x plus 2, and then I also have y equals to negative 3x plus 2. Same questions. Are these lines parallel? How do we check? Yes, you have to make sure that they have the same gradient. let us check. This is how many the gradient? This is the gradient is -2. This is the gradient is -3. Are they the same? No, they are totally different. But they are having what? Yes, they are having a same y-intercept. 2 and also 2. Now what will happen if we draw the line? See, when we draw the line, they will be showing that they are having the same y-intercept because they cut the line in the same position in the coordinate 0, 2. So are these line parallel? No, because the gradient are different. The first one is -2 and also the second one is -3. How we find a line that parallel to y equals to 2x minus 1 and pass through 0, 3? There are two methods actually to solve this. The first one is by drawing a diagram, and then the second one is by using the general line equation, which is y equals to mx plus c. And then now we are going to solve it with the first method, drawing a diagram. How to draw it? Before you draw, you have to check the gradient first. Here the gradient is 2 and then the y-intercept is -1. Let us draw it in the Cartesian coordinate. If you do not believe this is a correct line, you can check the gradient. The change in y is -2 and then the change in x is -1. -2 divided by -1 is 2. So the gradient is 2 and then the y-intercept also same -1. Now let us solve the equation. The line have to be passed through 0, 3. This is the point 0, 3 and then the gradient have to be the same because they are parallel. So 2, the number 2 in here is equal to 2 divided by 1 or 2 in 1. What does it mean? It means that we have to go up 2 units vertically for every 1 unit horizontally. So stop right here, right? There are 2 points already. We have to connect them with a line. This line will be the line that we are going to find out. So how to find the the line equation? The line equation is y equals to mx plus c. So the gradient is 2 and then the c, the y-intercept is 3. So it will be 2x plus 3. Let's continue to the method 2 using y equals to mx plus c. The m is stand for the gradient. Because they are parallel, the gradient have to be the same. So the m I can replace into number 2. And then what about the c? The c is the y-intercept. And then we check this one. The 0, 3 is on the y-axis. That's why the c will be equals to 3. So the line equation later will be directly y equals to 2x plus 3. Now let's move to another example. Here I already have y equals to 3x plus 2 and then later the parallel line passes through 1, 0. Here I want you to solve it using the second method, using y equals to mx plus c, because we already have the m in here parallel. The gradient will be the same, right? So the gradient later will be 3 and then the c. Do we have the c? No, we don't have the c because the c is the number on the y-axis. Is in this one, the 1, 0, the one in here is for the x and also the y is equals to 0. We can replace all this number into this equation. So we already have the gradient as 3 and then we just replace the y. We replace it into how many? The y is 0. That's why it's become 0. And then the m is 3 and then the x is 1. The c, do we know the c? We don't know. That's why we let it be as c. And then we calculate 0 equals to 3 plus c. How many later the c? The number 3 will move into another side, will be the opposite, become -3. That's why the c is -3. So later the equation will be y equals to 3x minus 3. The -3 in here is from the c, the 3 from the gradient itself. Well, that's all for today's class. I don't want to make it any longer because I know later you will get bored. Here I already prepared a simple game. If you want to do it, it's okay. If you don't want to try it, also fine. Here I already prepared the grid, 3 times 3 grid. You have to copy it if you want to play. Later you put inside any random number, 9 numbers. You put inside into this grid and then later you can play with your friends by calling. What do you have to do next? Next, I will prepare some question about the gradient. Later you have to find find the gradient. If your answer from the question given is the same, you can cross your answer in here, your number in here. Whoever got line of 3 will be the winner. It can be horizontally, vertically, or diagonally. Later you can pause for every slide that I show you the game, because maybe this will run a bit faster, so you can pause it and you can do it properly. Well, that's all for today. Thank you for listening. Hope you will enjoy your day. Have a nice day, everyone. Bye bye.